for Best Giveaway, Best On-Air Pledge Drive, and Best Station Promotional Poster. The Best Damn Sports Report is underwritten in part by B2 Bistro and Bar, Route 130 in Bordentown, where fresh local meets casual cool. I'm Nolan McCaffrey. Starting off in the WBC, the USA stays undefeated in the World Baseball Classic, defeating Mexico 3-0 on Monday. Paul Skeens earned the win in Monday's game after pitching 4 scoreless innings, while Aaron Judge hit this big home run to give the U.S. a 2-0 lead.
Good lead at first. Strokes one the other way. Back towards the wall. There it goes. Aaron Judge strikes first for Team USA.
Audio presented by the MLB YouTube page. Later that inning, Red Sox star Jarren Duran hit this big home run to give the U.S. an even bigger 5-0 lead.
Took the game in. Sends this ball a mile. How far will it fly for Roman Anthony? Off the face into the second deck. 5-0 U.S.
Audio presented by the MLB YouTube page. Mexico made it close in the later innings, scoring 3 runs, but the U.S. held on 5-3 to get the victory. In the NFL, the New York Giants reached an agreement on a 3-year deal with former Baltimore Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely. Likely, who is 25, is one of the most talented tight ends available in free agency, but he is coming off the worst season of his 4-year career. Likely finished with career lows in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns as he looks to make a big difference in Big Blue. The Kansas City Chiefs made a series of moves on Monday in free agency. The Chiefs re-signed Travis Kelce to a 1-year deal worth $12 million with a chance to make $15 million. They also signed running back Kenneth Walker, the Super Bowl MVP, to a 3-year contract worth up to $45 million. The Chiefs look to have a better season as they missed the playoffs for the first time in 10 years in 2025. The New York Jets traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick in exchange for a 2026 7th-round pick on Monday. Fitzpatrick, who's a 5-time Pro Bowler, looks to make an impact on a Jet defense who did not have an interception all of last year. The Jets also signed veteran linebacker Demario Davis to anchor their defensive unit in 2026. And finally, the San Francisco 49ers made a big addition to their wide receiver room, signing 6-time Pro Bowler Mike Evans to a deal worth up to $60.4 million. Evans, who caught more than 1,000 yards in each of his first 11 seasons, looks to bring experience in a winning mentality to the 49ers as they look to win their first Super Bowl since 1994. We're the Best Damn Sports Report for a reason. Listen daily at the top of the hour on 107.7 The Bronx, online at 107.7thebronx.com, and on Apple, Google Play, and Alexa for free. The Best Damn Sports Report is underwritten by B2 Bistro and Bar on Route 130 in Bordentown. Enjoy happy hour every Monday through Friday and all day every Sunday. Live from Rider University, I'm Nolan McCaffrey.
And it's out of here! And 107.7 The Bronx wins again with the Best Damn Sports Report. To never miss a hit like that one, find it all at 107.7thebronx.com/Best Damn Sports Report. And as the Bronx rounds home plate, we're getting back to the biggest hits and best variety on 107.7 The Bronx.
107.7 The Bronx at 107.7thebronx.com. Winner of 3 2026 Intercollegiate Broadcasting Systems Media Awards for Best On-Air Pledge Drive for our first ever radiothon, Best Giveaway for Wake Up Riders Morning Bagel Run and Jewelry Spree, and Best Station Poster by Jake Goebel for Scream Screen. This is Talking to Town New York Sports. I'm your host, Ryan Putsu, sophomore and sports media major here at Rider University. We are officially live on YouTube, finally. We finally got it done. Bit of a hectic previous hour before the show. We were able to get it done, and we're going to dive right in. Beautiful day out today, as opposed to last week when we had a lot of rain coming in. When we did the show last week, it was pouring over here at Rider. Now today, yesterday, even tomorrow, some beautiful days ahead, over 70 degrees. Get out, enjoy the weather. But let's dive right in because NFL free agency has begun, and man, the moves that have been going. Excuse me, my voice is a little low this week. I don't have a lot. But a big move by the Jets that just happened, actually, just a few minutes ago. Geno Smith back as the New York Jet quarterback, potentially even the starter for 2026. So a huge move by the New York Jets to get Geno Smith, and a move that not a lot of people expected, but I don't hate it. I don't. Obviously, Geno was a Jet back in 2016, and 10 years later, he rejoins the squad in something that, like I said, not a lot of people expected, but they're taking a gamble, and I don't mind it. I know he's old. I know he's not the best, and I know he wasn't the best with Las Vegas either. But not all is lost. This is a really, really interesting move by New York, and one that I think is going to pay off, because let's be real here. Justin Fields wasn't it. I mean, the guy, yes, he was mobile, but he didn't really have great pass accuracy. He wasn't really that good. And as much as Geno really didn't have a great season over in Vegas, I know they got the first pick, 2-14, whatever. They're going to go after Fernando Mendoza. But he is a veteran with experience. And that's, I think, something that New York needs. They get a veteran with experience, a guy that has played in a Jets uniform, has played in MetLife Stadium before multiple times, was the starter at one point. So now he comes back, and it's interesting because I'm curious to see what they do moving forward. I think that Geno will likely start if they don't go after another quarterback. I want them to go after another quarterback, though. Kirk Cousins is still on the table. Kirk Cousins is on the table. Carson Wentz is on the table, which I would love. I think if you have a quarterback room of Geno and Carson Wentz, I know they're both old. They're both really not the best quarterbacks you can get, but no one's expecting a top-tier offense this year. It's not expected. So don't hang your hat on this is the quarterback and that's that, because whoever the quarterback is this year is definitely not going to be the quarterback next year. They're likely going to draft, I want to say Arch Manning, but that QB class for next year is loaded. So they could go after anybody in that class. But to work with Geno Smith this year, I don't necessarily hate. It's not great. It's definitely not great, but I don't necessarily hate it. Anyway, Geno Smith, that's the first. That is the one big move of today for New York, because right now, Geno Smith is your quarterback. Some other breaking news. Elijah Vera Tucker, gone. Very unfortunate. Loved him on the offensive line, but he goes to the New England Patriots. On top of that, Quincy Williams is gone too. So now both Williams brothers are gone. Obviously, we saw Quinnen go to Dallas mid-season last year, but now Quincy goes to Cleveland Browns on a 2-year, $17 million deal. So there's no more Quincy or Quinnen, but they made a lot of defensive signings. And I feel like this is kind of going to be the same scenario as last year, where the defense is really good. Not really good, but the defense is good enough where they're going to make, enough stops. They're going to make a good amount of stops, but the offense isn't going to be able to produce because, yeah, you've got Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, because they did throw the tag on Breece Hall. We talked about that last week. You have Garrett Wilson. You have Breece Hall. You don't have a quarterback. You really don't have any other good receivers outside of Adonai Mitchell and Garrett Wilson. So I don't expect much from the offense. I don't. But I think on a defensive side, the Jets are going to look really good, and here's why. Number one, Minka Fitzpatrick for a 7th-round pick. I love it. I love it. I've been ecstatic about it. He's only 29. He's not that old. He's older, but he's not that old. So Minka Fitzpatrick, excuse me, Minka Fitzpatrick for a 7th. I think he's going to be really good in that secondary. Then on top of that, you sign Joseph Asai, 3 years, $34.5 million from the Cincinnati Bengals. He recorded career highs last season in quarterback pressure percentage and pass rush win rate. So a really good guy on the defensive end, which you need because Jermaine Johnson is a Tennessee Titan now. Speaking of the Tennessee Titans, they also picked up Wan'Dale Robinson, but we have a lot more Giants we're going to get into in a minute. Let's just get through the Jets first. So Joseph Asai, 3 years, $34.5 million from the Cincinnati Bengals. Another contract, $22 million, 2 years. Can you guess who? Demario Davis, back for his 3rd stint with the New York Jets. Drafted by the Jets in 2012, goes to the Saints, back to the Jets, back to the Saints. Now he's back to the Jets for his 3rd stint as a New York Jet. He's old, but can he be a good presence at linebacker? I think he can. I think he's still got a little in the tank where you'll get a decent defensive performance out of the guy. On top of that, Tavondre Sweat, who they got a few weeks ago from the Titans, we talked about him. They got him in the trade for Jermaine Johnson. He's really good. He's a good nose tackle. This is another guy that's good for stuffing the run, which they need. Because guess where they ranked last year in run defense? 29th. Out of 32 teams in the NFL, 29th. So all the run defense you can get. That's why they get Demario Davis at linebacker. They get defensive tackle David Onyemata. They signed him. He is going to pair really good with Sweat on the defensive line. They need run stuffers. Like I said, ranked 29th in run defense last season. Last season, Onyemata started 17 games for the Atlanta Falcons. He only recorded 1 sack, but he had 62 tackles over those 17 games, which is a lot, which is a really good sign and something that I think is going to work out for them. Another guy, defensive end. Now they get rid of Jermaine Johnson. They bring in a new edge guy, Kingsley Enagbare, 25 years old, young kid. They bring him in on a 1-year deal for $10 million. He has no missed games. In 4 years in the NFL, he has no missed games. So the best ability is availability. That's one of the best sayings in sports, and you see it right here. Not one missed game in the last 4 years. Are they taking a gamble on the guy? Yes. He's really not that great. The stats, this past season was probably one of his worst seasons since he was drafted. But his pass rush win rate, was a career low in 2025. But they're taking a gamble, and I love that they're doing that. I think it shows the culture that Glenn is building. Glenn's believing in these guys. So is Muji. Glenn and Muji believing in these guys. Yes, they're getting rid of big pieces. They got rid of Sauce midseason. They got rid of Quinnen midseason. They got rid of Quincy right now. They got rid of Jermaine Johnson. I'm aware of that. But this is a rebuild, guys. It's a rebuild. And I know, but they've been rebuilding for years. I know they have. But you have to start somewhere. And you're starting at a point where you're clearing so much cap space. Because you're getting rid of Jermaine Johnson, because you're getting rid of Quincy Williams, you have a lot of room to work with, and they're firing off these defensive moves. They're making huge moves. Aaron Glenn is making huge moves. Darren Muji's out there in the front office doing a great job on defense. On offense, I don't know. I'm questioning the Geno Smith thing. I know I said I like it. I do like it. I don't think it's great. Kirk Cousins is still available. I wish they would have been able to snag him because Tua Tagovailoa did go to the Falcons. The Falcons got their guy for this season at least. Interesting that they go after Tua with Bijan in that offense. We'll see how that works out. But a very interesting move. Another defensive player the Jets were able to snag. A safety from the New York Giants. Safety Dane Belton from the New York Giants. According to ESPN, he has a 95% tackling efficiency. Again, only 25 years old. So they're hammering at these young guys. They're going after guys that are young, that have potential. And they're getting rid of guys that are on their way out. So Darren Muji knows what he's doing. No one said they were going to be good this year. No one said they were going to be a playoff team. I feel like a broken record. I say that every week on this show. But no one said they were going to be great. No one said that. Don't expect something big out of the Jets this year. Just work with what you got. Now you've got Geno at quarterback. The way it's looking right now is Geno Smith at quarterback. You've got Garrett Wilson and Adonai Mitchell catching the ball. You've got Breece Hall in the backfield because they did put him on the tag. He probably would have walked if they didn't put him on the tag. Ironically, last semester I talked a lot about how there were a lot of circling rumors about Breece Hall going to the Chiefs. But guess what running back the Chiefs got? MVP, Super Bowl MVP at that. Kenneth Walker from the Seattle Seahawks. A guy that just picked up a ring with Seattle, goes to KC to work with Patrick Mahomes, to work with Travis Kelce, to work with Andy Reid, to work with an offense that honestly didn't show much. But Kenneth Walker could be the piece that this KC offense needs. It really could be. Because at the end of the day, the Chiefs were only one piece away last year. And, that is sad to say because we all did enjoy not seeing the Chiefs in the playoffs. But Mahomes got hurt. They didn't really have a good running back. Pacheco really wasn't the guy. He also had a lot of injury issues. They didn't really have receivers. But now you've got Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl MVP, probably the best running back in the league if you look at his stats, going to KC to work with a healthy Mahomes. This could be a scary Chiefs team once again. I know that's frightening to say, but it could be. It really could be. So there's your Jets. And now I'm jumping with the 5 minutes I have here. I'm going to start with the Giants, but I don't know how far we're going to get into the Giants before we have to sign off for commercial. So Isaiah Likely, tight end, Baltimore Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely. They get the tight end they needed desperately, and they get him on a 3-year deal, $40 million. Great move. Amazing move. I love the move. They needed a tight end. They've been looking at Likely, and they were able to snag him. And Isaiah Likely paired with Scadaboo, paired with Dart, with a healthy Malik Neighbors, with, not Wan'Dale anymore. Wan'Dale did go to the Titans. But even that in itself, you have Scadaboo, Neighbors, Isaiah Likely, and Jackson Dart all on one offense. If you can build the offensive line, this could be a pretty good Giant team. I'm excited for this Giant team. I think they're going to be really good. I think the offense looks really well. I think the defense is going to look good. Speaking of defense, signed cornerback from Jacksonville, Greg Newsome II. They get it done this morning. 1 year, $10 million. It's a gamble. He was drafted in 2021. He had a good couple of years. 2025 was probably one of his worst seasons, if not his worst season in the NFL. So it is a gamble. Harbaugh's got confidence in his guys, and I think Harbaugh's had that confidence. But they need receivers. I love Neighbors. He's great. When he's healthy, he's amazing. But he's coming off an ACL tear. Any guy that comes off an ACL tear is not 100% when they start the next season. They're not. They're never going to be. So you need receivers desperately, without a doubt. There's guys out there. I mean, they re-signed Isaiah Hodgins on a 1-year deal, but like I said, they lost Wan'Dale. So now you've got Hodgins and Neighbors, but you need to look at the free agent receivers, and you got to snag somebody other than Isaiah Hodgins on a re-sign, guys. I mean, I love what you got going on over there. I love Jackson Dart at quarterback. I love Likely at tight end. I love Scadaboo at the running back position. But there's no one to catch the ball outside of Malik Neighbors right now. There's not. And that's something that the Giants need to work on immediately, is getting a receiver. That's probably task number one moving forward. And, maybe during the show today, I get a tweet. They did pick up a receiver. I will check in about a minute and a half when we cut the break. But as of right now, the offense doesn't really have any receivers. That's probably the number one thing the Giants got to work on. So big moves, huge moves in the world of the Jets and Giants. But not just that. Around the league, big moves. Like we talked about, Tua Tagovailoa goes to the Atlanta Falcons, which means that Kirk Cousins is 1,000% on the move. Steelers get Michael Pittman Jr. That was another interesting pickup that I really like, though, because I think he'll work well with whoever quarterback's there. We're not sure if it's going to be Rodgers, so whoever ends up quarterbacking there, and especially with a new coaching regime because Tomlin's gone too. So big moves all around the NFL this past week. We got a lot more to talk about with the Knicks, with the NFL as a whole. World Baseball Classic kicked off, so don't go anywhere. If you build it, our Rider Bronx will devour it, introducing a contest that will cement your legacy at Rider University forever. Announcing 1077 The Bronx first ever Build the Ultimate Bronkwich competition. Be the Bronc who creates Rider's new signature sandwich to be served at Muller's Pub on the Yo Cuz Yellow Food Trailer, and will send you and a guest on a Royal Caribbean for 2 to the Bahamas from Josh Harry Travel. However you slice it, this contest eats Bronx. Go to 1077thebronx.com/build-a-bronkwich for details and how you can enter to win. We'll be back with more Talking to Town New York sports after these underwriting announcements on your 3-time 2026 Intercollegiate Broadcasting Systems Media Award winner, 1077 The Bronx. A lot of New York Knicks to get into. We had an interesting week. We will see you in just a minute. Do not go anywhere.
Oh, it's so hot. I'm so hungry.
Right back into the Giants, and we talked about a couple signings they made. I wanted to mention one more. Tremaine Edmonds, a linebacker, 3-year contract signs with the Giants, and after you release Bobby Okereke, I mean, you need a signing like this. There's a new quarterback at the defense in New York, and it's going to be Tremaine Edmonds. He's a guy that played really well in the past, and now replacing Okereke, who was a really, really big factor on that Giant defense. On top of that, just 2 hours ago, they re-signed linebacker Micah McFadden on a 1-year deal. So Micah McFadden at linebacker and Tremaine Edmonds at linebacker. 2 huge signings by the Giants at linebacker. So big moves in the NFL, like we said, and they are not done. I mean, we're going all day with this NFL free agency. We are huge. So, like I said, Geno Smith. Now, like I said, Jets offense is Geno Smith, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Adonai Mitchell, and Mason Taylor right now as it stands. So, not great, but interesting. Another big blockbuster that just came out an hour ago as I'm checking my Twitter, my NFL Twitter. Romeo Doubs to the New England Patriots on a 4-year deal worth roughly $70 million. So, not good for Jet fans, not good for the AFC East whatsoever, because Dobbs played amazing last season with the Packers. Now he goes to New England, where he gets to play with a Super Bowl, a quarterback who made a Super Bowl in one of his first years with Drake May. So we'll see how that goes. Let's jump into these Knicks, because what a week. I mean, what a week for the Knicks. Not really a good one, though. They went 2-2. Since we were last on the show. Tuesday night, Raptors win. Next game, lost to OKC. Game after that, win by 40 over the Denver Nuggets in Denver. And then they lose to the Lakers on Sunday. They lose to the Clippers last night. So, I am a little concerned because of last night's game in particular. Where was the defensive presence in that game? Because they were down. They were down 82-67. They were down 15 points in the third quarter. Guess what? 8-0 run, you come back. It's a 7-point game. They run away again. Make it a 5-point game. They run away again. Make it a 3-point game. They run away again. Even when it was a 1-point game, they couldn't get it done. I don't know what's going on with the defense. JB can't do everything. Yes, he had an awesome game. He did. He had a really good game. But it wasn't good enough by the defense. Let's talk about this Clipper game, because this Clipper game was interesting. So lose to the Clippers, 128-118, a game where they had so many chances. I mean, so many to get it done, and they just didn't. So we'll look at the stat sheet here. So Brunson did end with 28. Cat had an awesome game. Thank you, Cat, for utilizing your size and playing the way you're supposed to be playing basketball. 35 points, 12 boards. Double-double for Cat. Josh Hart, 13 rebounds, 12 points. Bridges, what is going on with Mikal Bridges? I mean, the Laker game, he had no points and 6 assists. What? This is a guy we gave up 5 first-round picks for? This is the guy. This is the guy you gave up 5 first-round picks for, is Mikal Bridges. When he's done nothing. He's done nothing. I am done with Mikal Bridges. I'm over him. I can't take it. Because he's inconsistent. He's either dropping 25 or he's dropping 5, or in some cases, like 2 nights, like Sunday night at the Lakers, 0. I mean, what's going on? So we talked about the Clipper game last night, but I'm going to go through the week because we had a decent week. It wasn't good enough, though. Big win over the Raptors Tuesday night right after the show. 111-95 win. Brunson drops 26. Cat drops 21. Another comeback win where they were down early in the first. And you know something? They really know how to give you a heart attack. Every time without fail. They know how to give you a heart attack, man. They really do. Because it's never easy. Even when they get a lead, they blow it. If they don't have the lead, they're down 20. You don't want to turn the game off because you know this team has the ability to come back. Laker game they lost. But Denver game, they blew them out. Huge game. But yeah, Raptor game. Brunson 26, Cat 21. Another huge comeback win. OG Anunoby, 15-point shot, 2 for 2 from 3. Very next night in a back-to-back at home at the Garden, you're playing the Thunder and you lose by 3 points. 103-100 was the final on Wednesday night in Oklahoma. I mean, no, not at the Garden against OKC. It's sickening, because they were competitive all game. But unfortunately, it was SGA's first game back in a while from injury. And SGA, being SGA, played awesome. He dropped 26 in the Garden. Chet Holmgren, 28 in the Garden. You know who the leading scorer was in the Knicks? Cat. You know how many points Cat had? 17. Not good enough if you want to beat the reigning champions. I'm sorry. The fact that they competed enough to only lose by 3 to the defending champions is something I can admire. It is. But it's not enough. It's not enough, and this is not the way I see it right now. I love the Knicks. I think they've been great. I don't see them as a finals team. I don't. Think about it. I mean, what are they, 0-3 or 0-4 against the Pistons this season? Either 0-3 or 0-4 against Detroit this season. Right. You lost to the Cavaliers. You lost to the Celtics, and now Tatum's back, and Tatum's been balling. I don't know if anybody's been watching, but Tatum has been balling. His first game back, he dropped 15. The next game, he dropped 20. So the Celtics are back on the map. This guy comes back from an Achilles injury and balls out. Balls out. And then on top of that, you get the West Coast where, Denver played OKC last night. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's he hit one huge step-back 3. Then the Nuggets tied the game off a Jokic 3. Then Gilgeous-Alexander comes back, step-back 3 with 2 seconds left, drills it, Thunder win the game. So he's still got that clutch gene. The MVP of last year is still playing at an MVP caliber, at an MVP caliber level. Interesting. Because what are the Knicks going to do? You're in third place behind the Pistons and the Celtics. And now, with Tatum back, you don't know if you're going to pass the Celtics. When they only had Jaylen Brown, okay, Jaylen Brown is good. I don't think Jaylen Brown is great. So I did have hopes that they could overtake the Celtics in the standings because of the fact that Tatum wasn't in the lineup. Tatum comes back and he's been going off. And now you're in a position where, this is concerning. So they are 2 games behind the Celtics. They are 4 games behind the Pistons. Celtics, so Tatum comes back Friday night against the Mavericks. He drops 15 with 12 boards. The game after that, I think, didn't he have 20? I believe he had 20. Oh, that's a great game tonight. Celtics take on the Spurs tonight, 8 o'clock. I'll check that out. But, yeah, so he drops 15. Then they play the Cavs. He hits a dagger 3. They're up 7. No, they're up 9. Tatum drills a 3, makes it 12. Tatum drops 20, 2 threes, 3 boards, 2 assists. Jaylen Brown in that game, 23, 9 boards, 8 assists. So they overtake the Cavs, which is good for us. You don't want the Cavs moving anywhere. Tonight, Celtics do get the Spurs in a game that I'll enjoy because if the Spurs can beat them, then I have a lot of faith that the Knicks can also, because the Knicks did They did. They took down the Spurs twice already. But, I'm off on a tangent right now. Let's get back into the week. Denver game. They go into Denver at 9 o'clock our time, but they go into Denver on a Friday night, and they ball out 142-103 is the final. They blow out the Nuggets by 40 points. Who led the scoring? I'll let you guess. It wasn't Brunson. It wasn't Towns. It was OG Anunoby with 34 points in one of the best games of his career. In Denver, they take down Jokic, they take down Jamal Murray, they take down the Nuggets. So a really, really, really good game there in Denver on Friday night. Moving forward, we talked about the Clipper game and the Laker game a little bit, but moving forward, yet you lose by 3 to the defending champions. Okay, I can work with that. I'm okay with that. Thunder are a really good team. It was Shea's first game back. The fact that they only lost by 3 is something not to be proud of, is something that's respectable. Then they go into Denver. They blow out the Nuggets by 40. You're saying, all right, this team's back on track. They just blew them out by 40. They go into LA Sunday afternoon. What do? 110-97. Loss. Luka Doncic drops 35 points. Austin Reeves drops 25. What did Brunson do? 24. What did Cat do? 25. What did the rest of the starting lineup do? Nothing. The starting lineup did absolutely nothing in that game. I mean, really, absolutely nothing. I was so upset at that because Brunson and Cat played their hearts out. And the rest of the squad, look at this. OG, 13 points after dropping 34 2 nights ago. Josh Hart, 8 points. Mikal Bridges, 0, shoots 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. What is going on? Diawara had more points than Mikal Bridges on Sunday afternoon. Are we really letting that happen? Last night, too, at one point in that Clipper game, why does Mike Brown have Diawara and Huck Porty on the court at the same time? They essentially have the same role. So maybe for rebounding, I don't know. But I don't see a point in having both of them on the court at the same time. I don't. Anyway, so a good week. Looking upcoming, you have tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, you get the Utah Jazz in Utah. Then you get the Pacers in Indiana on Friday the 13th. That's this Friday. Then Sunday night, you get the Warriors. Tuesday night, you get the Pacers. That's St. Patrick's Day. We will not be here. So yes, we will not be on the air next week due to spring break here at Ryder. Much needed for everybody. But yeah, so Utah, Indiana, the Warriors, and the Pacers. That's kind of the 4 that we have coming up. One of those Indiana games, Friday is in Indiana. Next Tuesday is at home at the Garden on St. Patrick's Day. So you get a little bit more of a road trip. This has been kind of a long one for them because they went to Toronto, then they got one little nice game at home, then they go into Denver, win that game, into Crypto.com Arena in LA and lose that game, into the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California, and they lose that game. Now, into Utah tomorrow night, into Indy Friday night, then you come back home for Golden State on Sunday night, and you get a solid 5-game homestand if you count the Barclays Center as a home game, which I do because who's even a Nets fan anymore? I mean, New York's just basically Knicks fans at this point. So you get Warriors in MSG, Pacers in MSG, Brooklyn Nets at the Barclays Center, which is essentially a home game, and then you get the Wizards on the 22nd. Then you get Pelicans, Hornets. I mean, your March schedule is not really awful. It's not. But we don't have a lot of games left, guys. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 games left. 16 games left in the season, which I believe that adds up to their record, right? 41, 25, 66. Yeah, you've got 16 games left in the season, which is shocking because it feels like the season just started. But regardless, that is what we're working with for the Knicks. World Baseball Classic on deck. Here we go. Nolan McLean gets the start tonight, 9 o'clock against Italy. a big moment for McLean. Besides that, I know Dominican Republic did get a win with Juan Soto the other night. So interesting to see that. USA beat Mexico 5-3 on March 9th. That was last night. So Paul Skeens gets the win there. Skeens ends the game with 7 Ks, only gives up 1 hit over 4 innings. Aaron Judge, 2-run homer, 2 for 3. This has been pretty fun. United States is undefeated right now in the World Baseball Classic. So shout out to the U.S. Tonight you get Puerto Rico against Canada, and you get Israel against the Netherlands. And at, like we said, 9 o'clock, you get USA against Italy. So some really, really big games coming up tonight. This USA-Italy game is going to be interesting because obviously USA is undefeated. Italy is also undefeated at 2-0. But Nolan McLean, a guy who is potentially going to start opening day for the Mets, gets to start tonight. So lineup is Roman Anthony, Alex Bregman, Byron Buxton, Pete Crow Armstrong, Paul Goldschmidt, Bryce Harper's out there, Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, so Will Smith, Bobby Witt, a lot of really notable guys out there for the World Baseball Classic tonight. But like I said, Nolan McLean with a start, really big moment for him. I am curious to see how the Mets play out come end of March. I don't really know how well they're going to be. I think that they did get pitching. They did get Bo Bichette for a nice bat. I mean, they did make a lot of offensive moves, but how good is this Met team really going to be? We're not going to know until opening day. I think they're unpredictable. Again, I don't know who's going to start opening day. We're still in the conversation of whether it's going to be Nolan McLean or Freddie Peralta. Personally, I think you take the veteran experience with Peralta. Just, free balling here. I think that's kind of the best move you can make is free balling. Not really free balling, but giving Freddie Peralta the start because he is a veteran with experience. And as much as I love Nolan McLean, I feel like to put the pressure on him of, hey, you're pitching opening day and it's against one of the best pitchers in baseball who just pitched a game in the World Baseball Classic in Paul Skeens is tricky. So we'll see what happens there. That's my Knicks rant for you guys today. 107.7 The Bronx has very exciting news. Our new video stream is officially live, as you can see right now. Now you can listen to The Bronx on air, online, and on app. Now watch your favorite student shows live on the Bronx YouTube channel and Facebook at 107.7 The Bronx, including Ryder Ranks, O-Dog, Garden Salad, A Random After Party, Beyond the Score, and now Wake Up Ryder. Keep it tuned to The Bronx to listen and now watch your favorite student shows. Yeah, we're going to be back with more Talking to Town New York sports after these underwriting announcements. While you're waiting, follow The Bronx on Instagram at 107.7 The Bronx and on TikTok at 107.7 The Bronx WRRC. So, big news by the Knicks. Big schedule coming up. We'll see you guys in a minute. We'll talk a little hockey, and then we're going to sign off for the week. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a minute.
Do you wake up and feel like your mornings are just missing?
right now. Take advantage of
the kingdom. Come, friends, we shall congregate with ideas to make Ryder the best place for new experiences at SGA's weekly Senate meetings.
Mark your calendars. 1077 The Bronx Excellent Egg Hunt is on its way. Join us on the campus mall on Tuesday, March 31st at 11 a.m. to experience this event. The Bronx won Best Giveaway for it, the 2025 IBS Media Awards. Don't forget, there are 10,000 eggs, 20,000 pieces of candy, and a chance to win so many cool prizes, including our biggest and most iconic prize, a 3 to 4 night Royal Caribbean cruise for two to the Bahamas, provided by Josh Harry Travel. For more details, including a list of other activities and bites to eat, go to 1077thebronx.com/egg hunt. Welcome back to Talk of the Town New York Sports on the Princeton Review's number 18 ranked best college radio station, 1077 The Bronx. So, just about 7 minutes left here in today's show, and like we covered a lot today. I'm still shocked at this Geno Smith situation, because a guy who gets drafted in 2013 carousels around the league, and I am surprised that he even wanted to come to us, because the way the Jets did him, it's okay. Yeah, I was wondering why I was doing
Put
that.
the L in front of your face.
In front of my face?
Yeah. No, go like this. That's the back. There we go.
Okay. It's my first one. I'm still learning, guys. I apologize. But the way the Jets did him was I'm sorry. Was a little dirty, honestly. I didn't expect him to want to come back to the Jets, but the guy doesn't really have a good career in Vegas, and you know, he comes back. We'll see how he does. I mean, I am curious to see what he does, if he's even going to start, if they go after another guy like Cousins, or I don't know, not Kyler Murray. I don't think they're going to go after Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray's going to be a Viking, if I'm being really honest here. On top of that, Mike Evans goes to the Niners on a 3-year deal. Injury-prone wide receiver goes to an injury-prone team. Why are we surprised? I'm not. I mean, Niners were very injury prone last year. They had the issue with McCaffrey, obviously. They weren't a playoff team, but I know they were a playoff team. They beat the Eagles in the wild card. That's on me, but Niners get Mike Evans. Like I said, Patriots got Romeo Doubs. A lot of NFL free agent signings. As far as the Rangers go, they've won 3 out of their last 5 games. They beat the Penguins in a shootout 3-2. They lost to the Blue Jackets on Monday. Thursday, they beat the Maple Leafs 6-2. Saturday the 7th, they lose to the Devils 6-3. Then they beat the Flyers last night 6-2. So they're still last in the Metropolitan. They're still in 8th. But, obviously some work to do. Islanders, we talked about them. We talked about Matt Schaefer last week. But they've been looking really good. Matt Schaefer, like we talked about last week, the kid was only 18. He's been breaking massive records over the past week. On the 4th, Anaheim Ducks beat them, but then they were able to get the win on Saturday in overtime over the San Jose Sharks. So they stand third in the Metropolitan right now with a 36-23-5 record. They have more wins than the Penguins, but the Penguins do have more points on them. So it's Hurricanes, Penguins, and then Islanders in that order. So Islanders could potentially be a playoff team, and it wouldn't be the worst thing to see because the Rangers aren't doing nothing. New York Hockey's not doing nothing else. So very, very interesting moves for the Islanders. On top of that, like we talked about with the Knicks, they got a pretty light schedule coming up with the Jazz and the Pacers, but nothing to be taken lightly because after that, end of March, you get the Rockets again after a really, really competitive game you had with them last month. So you get the Jazz, then you get the Pacers, then you get the Warriors, who Curry's been balling. But then again, you get Pacers, Nets, Wizards, Pelicans, Hornets. So you get a pretty easy cakewalk, in my opinion. I mean, obviously nothing is a cakewalk in the NBA, but you get Jazz, Pacers, Golden State, Pacers again. Then you get 2 days off. You get Brooklyn, Washington, New Orleans, Charlotte. It seems pretty light, but we'll see what happens. I think we're going to end off with that today. We did have some issues with YouTube, but bear with me. It was the first stream. So thank you for listening to Talk of the Town New York Sports. We'll be back next Tuesday at 3 to 4 p.m. Stay tuned for more of the biggest hits and best variety on the Prince Reviews, number 18, Best College Radio Station, 3-time 2026 IBS Media Award winner, and 5-time NAB Marconi Radio Award nominee for College Radio Station of the Year, 1077 The Bronx and 1077thebronx.com. We will not be on next week due to spring break, so our next show will be the 24th of March. We will see you guys then. Have a great day. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
1077 The Bronx, WRRC-FM, Lawrence,